Andarku Namaskara. I'm Gopi K, your host for today. On behalf of VHS Karnataka, very warm welcome to all the wonderful viewers for the 40th edition of Online Samvada, brought to you by VHS Karnataka. We had 39 amazing episodes of Samvada from VHS Karnataka until now, including last Friday's enlightening session on Vaidika Vijnanam and Ganitam by Shri Manthan Bhadji. What an amazing session was that. Akhanda Bharata's Itihasas goes back to many yugas. Bharatavarsha is not alone in this world. For many thousands of years, the invaders tried to invade Bharatavarsha. About 2600 years back, Cyrus tried to capture Bharata, but lost his life. 300 years later, after getting inspired by Cyrus, Alexander tried to capture Bharata but failed. 1200 years later on, the Islamic invaders, the colonizers, penetrated into Bharat using trade as their cover up. Last century, the communists penetrated deeper into the society. All these Abrahamics, missionaries, Islamic forces, and communists are very aggressive in looting, destroying wealth, culture, tradition, values of Bharata to replace with their way by brutal force. Coming to modern day Bharat, there are many external forces working inside Bharat directly or indirectly to hurt Bharata and its integrity. Time to know who are these forces who wants to hurt Bharata, how are they working, and who are their moles within Bharat, and so on and so forth. To know more about these forces, we have a special guest speaker, Shri T.S. Chandrashekar ji, M.A., M.Phil, Ph.D., South Korea, a TV panelist, a columnist in geopolitics. Shri Chandrashekar ji has done his BA from Mysore Maharaja College, MA, M.Phil from JNU College, in the news for all the bad reason of late. I'm talking about the university. So the PhD from South Korea. Shri Chandrashekar ji has worked in Samsung, Oracle, and South Korean government as a deputy director trade. Also written articles on China, India defense. I'm also joined by VHS Karnataka State President Shri Nikusha ji, Tejas, and Dr. Tilak. Without any further ado, now I request Shri Chandrashekar ji to enlighten all of us on Bharat, external factors and internal dynamics. Please, Chandrashekar ji, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Gopiji. And good evening, everybody. Hari Om. And before I start my discussion, I'm thankful for Nikun Saji, President, Karnataka State Unit, Mr. Tejas, Dr. Balatilak, and dear friend Mr. Gopi, whom I meet very frequently in discussions and talks wherever we go through. So when we met recently in a Tibetan program to celebrate 31st or 33rd birth celebration of Pancham Lama, we discussed, he invited me, why don't you come and speak? And I was very eager to come and share my ideas and thoughts. But more than that, it's a more, he said to me that it will be more dialogue and debate. It's a samvada where you can give your ideas and you can take ideas from us. So that was very thankful for him because giving our ideas and taking ideas from others is the biggest tradition of India which he gave to us and which we will discuss in this whole discussion. He said to me that please take 30 minutes but to put up your ideas, and I think I will try my best to give justice to all the people or all the audience who want to understand what is Bharat, what are the external factors affecting our nation, and what are the internal dynamics, what is happening here to create a ruckus and break India as a tukde tukde gangs. See, first of all, very important thing is the world of today is not the world of First World War, Second World War, or any other things. Now India has threat not only from land, air, water, but also from cyber and also space. So the nature of war itself has changed. So the dynamics has affected Bharat as a nation. What was Bharat? An ancient civilization with its own history, culture, traditions, procedures, rules, regulations, where everybody was respected to live a life of what they liked. It encouraged everybody to evolve their life, Ekata Manvad, Antyodaya. After that, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam was given, where a big, small, or an island or anybody can live happily with dignity with others. With this foundation, civilizations were built, culture flourished. But every culture, whenever it flourished, there had certain rules and regulations. After evening 6 o'clock, nobody used to fight wars. Nobody used to harm women. Nobody used to play with water. That was a tradition. That was the culture. They gave respect to climate. So this is how India was built. This is what India want to give answer to the world today. So India as a nation is evolving. Yes, we are multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multicultural, and multilingual. But the oneness of a nation makes us strong, solid, and progressive for the world. Nations can't hold together. Iman, Shia Sunnis are fighting. Proxy war by Saudi Arabia and Iran in Iman. Iraq also the same thing is happening. Pakistan, the same thing is happening. Ukraine, Russia, there is a flop of multi-ethnicity and the disintegration of Russia took place because of failure of multi-ethnic, religious and cultural things. But one thing which welded India very strong was our bond of humanness, our bond of culture, our bond of thoughts, procedures made India strong and evolving, and there was the continuity of the civilization. Today, if you go to Egypt, nobody has relation with Pharaohs. That relationship has gone. It is dead. If you go to Iraq, there is nothing. If you go to China, communism has overthrown everything. Only in India, the continuity of civilization, structures, procedures, values, and dignity for a human individual is going on. That keeps India strong, vibrant, and progressive. So today, India's relation externally, India has very great relationship bilaterally with South Asian countries. Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, or Maldives, any country it can be. We respect them. In the same way, regionally, we have a good relation with China. We try to have a good relation with China or Japan or even Iran, Iraq, and globally we have good relation with from South America to Africa to Americas. All the multilateral institutions respect us because of our greatest role and greatest contribution in United Nations peacekeeping operation since 1947. That made India bilaterally, regionally, and globally a strong leader. Externally, solar International Solar Alliance and global climate, India's concern for the world, made India strong. What made world to amass, what made world to feel sacred and respect to India was India's democracy. 1947 till today, the world respected 1.3 billion people of this nation because every Indian was different. Every Indian had a thought procedure in this sacred land. Leaders, America too, from the talks of Vivekananda to Gulf to China to Japan, everybody respected India. Indian leadership was seen as a representative of this culture. The values was given to them because these 1.3 billion people had a distinctiveness which made them wherever they go, Indian diaspora, they were always good people. They were never a terrorist. They were never power hungry. They were not money hungry. They wanted coexistence, co-living, co-development with other peoples. That made India and Indian leadership look very strong. Then came UN reforms. Externally, India could not get the UN Security Council membership. Today, 1.3 billion people don't have voice in the United Nations. Some of the most dreaded terrorists are supported in the Security Council, and they are free to walk in some terror supporting nations. Today, United Nations reform should happen, and India should sit in the Security Council, whatever it may be the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Then coming back to the external factors, most pressing for India is climate change problem by the rich nations. They don't have hold or control on the climate. Number two is due to arms race to develop the arms industries for the narrow security and political interest of few countries. Russia-Ukraine conflict is happening. And it is very alarming to know that Russian foreign minister to certain administrators are saying that Russia can use a small nuclear weapon or they can threaten Ukraine. Already most of the Ukraine is gone. The nation is gone. More than 4 to 5 million people have become refugees. India already said, instead of fighting, let us please make dialogue. Let them sit, discuss, and solve it. Nations supporting them with yes, they have done a violence, or if any nation has done encroachment, that has to be it has to be sit, discuss, and there should be solution. War is not solution for everybody. Then we're having the Islamic Jihad, which was supposed to come to the borders of India due to the defeat of ISIS, rise of Taliban, Pakistan everyday collapsing is going to give a very big factor for India. Most important external factors affecting India is geopolitical situation. Last 2 years, due to Corona COVID virus things, the world global economy got stopped. Supply chain glut. Now inflation, no jobs. Many companies are having problem. Though India did its best to vaccinate its people and the economy is growing, but the world situation is very grim and it is going bad. So, who gave the China the P4 that lab to do test on either SARS or on AIDS or even Ebola, all these type of things? Why did China did not give permission for the United Nations or independent body WHO to go and investigate there? And what is the relationship between the Fauci from US drug administration and the Chinese labs? This was never discussed. This never went forward. Then second important factor was jihadist. Now slowly in Afghanistan there is no state. Though Taliban is not a recognized nation except Pakistan and few other one or two nations. So ISIS in Nangarhar province is organizing themselves and Taliban is organizing themselves. And tomorrow or day after tomorrow, they may threaten through Pakistan, ISI, India, Indian area, Indian nation. So this is the one challenge which we can't from 7th century till today. This can't be left like that, but we have to face. Bangladesh is reality, Nepal extremism and communism is reality, Maldives is a reality because from Maldives also many people, many army people went and fought with ISS. That is the truth. Then coming back, certain countries like Sri Lanka or Bhutan or Nepal or Bangladesh in an extent, they are changing. They are playing the power politics of India and China. There were days when they used to say India and China, India and their neighbors are like brother relationships. That relationships are getting little changes. That has to be taken into consideration very powerfully. Supply chain problems, robots, artificial intelligence, quantums. So these are the things which affects us very powerfully. During the recently Raisina dialogue, uh, Foreign Minister Jaishankar sir, Meenakshi Lekhi from the MEA, or the Prime Minister and the world leaders who came to India, they all saw how India is evolving, developing, and how independent is India's foreign policy. But external factors of like terrorism, which is coming from cross-border from Pakistan, and terrorism is also coming from China, and China is trying to amass land, air, water of its neighbors. It is trying to take control of Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh to Pakistan is already under control, and Sri Lanka we know how things are moving there. Then Maldives uh, and Mauritius all. So there is a China factor which we have to see very powerfully. Debt trap diplomacy, then their vaccine diplomacy, where they create a lot of ruckus in the world has to be seen. With that, China is sending robots and artificial intelligence and drones in Indian border in Ladakh. That also has to be seen in very powerful way. Then climate issues, then economic factors of America first or Europe first. This type of things has to be reconciled, and too much of foreign direct investment is good, but that foreign direct investment should encourage India's job opportunities and India's technological and economic growth. Somebody just come invest and take back money. That is of no use for India because now the nature of industries have changed. As artificial intelligence and robots, they use more work than the people. So whenever a foreigner comes and invests, it has to be seen, and Atmani Bharat is checking that one, but it has to be seen and thought. If these are certain external factors, which in discussion I can continue little more, internal factors are more arming India than positively taking India forward. The Luthians, the communists, the Naxalites, the pseudo communists, and the pseudo intellectual people, family politics, and regional politicians, and certain people and individuals like Prashant Kishore type of people who just for for political mileage, for certain some sort of funds, they try to give so many promises for a state so that nothing will be satisfied, but too much of incentives makes election procedure completely gone. This has to be seen. Then internally, regional political parties, they are not thinking from the point of view of India's external dynamics, external politics, global climate change, or electricity, or gas, or anything. They are just thinking only about themselves, and they are doing whatever they want so that a father, after that their son, he will continue. It starts from Bihar, Lalu Yadav or his son, Uttar Pradesh, Mulayam Singh Yadav, then his son, then Karnataka, Devegowda and his son, and Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chandrashekar and his son. Like that, Maharashtra, Shiv Sena, then their next generation. So this all feudalism of politics in regional parties is going on. This is a very big, dangerous precedent for India. Then a very important thing is language problems, which is coming up in India. India as a nation should think about, yes, two or three languages are there. Let us live happily with that. Instead of dividing ourselves, let us unite has to be thought of. Then, very importantly, north south divide, uneven economic development, and spending more money on certain states is going to harm India's heterogeneity culture. With that, the most important thing challenge for India is, see, number one is we have kept education since 1947, a big political party, national political party, who ruled for 5, 6 decades, they did not make India independent of defense. They made us to depend on one country for all our defense needs. They did not educate our people. Nearly 40% of the people are uneducated. Poverty ratio, though now it has reduced, it's more than poverty ratio is there. So if India does not have a proper education facility, it doesn't have a proper, though infrastructure things are developing now. If it had been done from earlier, it would have been great. Then when it comes to health, though effort has been done, increase in hospitals, increase in beds, increase in doctors has to be given more important. More pressing things than this is corruption. Corruption has to be without from India. If corruption is not without from India, the survival of India as a nation itself will be a very big problem in the future. Then, one very important thing for Indians is in Punjab, Pakistan ISI has opened a separate in Rawalpindi a branch to create ruckus in India from Khalistani terrorists, and there is a very big lobby group which is getting started in England, France, and in America, Canada, and also in Middle East. So that Khalistani rise of Khalistan has to be seen very carefully. Then Jammu Kashmir has to be seen in very careful way, and a lot of integration with the mainland has to happen, and otherwise there will be some issues. But one important consideration has to be seen is from Arunachal Pradesh till the central region of Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh till Ladakh, China is trying to emerge itself very powerfully. So the border, so most of our troops has to come this side and fight. So India needs compulsory military training from the age of 18 to 21, minimum 3 years. That has to be taught because the example is very good example is Ukraine. Though they have a very good threat from Russia, so from 2014 they made a rule that from 18 to 60 they have to do 8 years of compulsory military training. So today that helped them to fight the conventional war very much. So India has to make itself very powerful in this way. So India needs to take care of education. India needs to take care of health, and India has to fight the disease. And most importantly, India should encourage the entrepreneurs. So, if, for example, what I feel is like if Karnataka is a Pina industrial area where the most of the jobs are generated here and a lot of exports happen throughout the world. So, whenever the budget is there or whenever some social welfare measures are taken, a minister should go and stay there one day. So that can make changes there. So the type of in India, Karnataka we call Grama Vastavya, like that industrial Vastavya, or a railway minister should go visit and stay in a railway station in a remote place, see what is the problems there, and a constructive opposition is very much needed in India because criticizing everything Modi will not help for a nation. A constructive opposition is very important, but political parties like Aam Aadmi Party, they are coming without where the Aam Aadmi president he had quoted Mr. Kejriwal that he would become exile prime minister or something like that, which was reported. So that all the things harm internally very bad. And most importantly, the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people, they have to be uplifted in a very powerful and very in a time bound manner, and there should be backward caste or a general or whatever it may be. India's overall economic development political development, Indian people's development in the sacred land, whoever is born, has to be taken place. So issues, whatever differences are coming in India between religions or community, dialogue should happen, and everybody should be taken into consideration, where everybody lives happily and build the nation more strong. Otherwise, India as a nation can't move forward. See, India is an example to the world because of one thing: multi-ethnic and multi-religious and multi-lingua country. So that one we don't understand, but many people in the world, they understand what it is. For example, when I went to Korea, I saw first time when I saw high school girls coming, they were all looking same. There was no difference at all. But in the same way, if any foreigner come to India, if they see 10 people in Delhi, seven will be different, three will be different. All seven, all 10 will be different people, except one or two. So that is the uniqueness of India, and the uniqueness of India is respected not only because of political parties and leaders, but also because of this sacred land, this sacred people. Jawaharlal Nehru did a mistake by thinking that the world likes him. World did not like Jawaharlal Nehru as an individual was liked, but he was respected because he was the Prime Minister of India, and he represented that time 40 crore people of India, 30 or 40. So this thing has to be understood by all the leaders. See, now we are getting challenges because the world is becoming completely inward. Today or tomorrow, in 1 week, if Russia is getting defeated in the war, they may go to fight with Moldova, it can go to Poland, and they can be a World War II, because of this energy crisis, and Nord Stream to German and Russian relation. America is fighting for its own survival, and also for its leadership, and also for democracy. But for India, globalization, development, and the self-sufficiency in defense and oil energy needs has to be taken care. So we can't just because 1.3 billion people just can't go with any nations just within a fraction of time. We can't say no to Russia or no to America. We can't say all in a sudden. It takes gradual time. So that gradual time can become successful only when India becomes self-sufficiency in everything. India should develop. Economic development is the must for India. If countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, or any other big countries like Brazil, if they can develop very much, why not India is the question. But corruption has to be checked, and also disease has to be thrown out, and women empowerment has to be given more important. And the day should come where out of 545 MPs, 225 are women, 220 is men. The day it comes, then the success of India as a nation will become more true and more powerful. Then, the most importantly, India needs one nation, one election, because we have in every 5 years the prime minister or ministers are all busy due to election problems. One nation, one election, and one nation, one ration card, one nation, one driving license, one nation, one passport. So these are the things which have to come up on one nation, one grid, and one nation, one water policy, where everybody see in a country like India, we should not fight for water. See, we worship Ganga as a river. Nowhere in the world the people worship their rivers. Only we worship. We worship sun. We worship moon. We worship snake. We worship everything. Whether something is poisonous or something is good, we worship everything because we believe in respect to others. So that thing is inbuilt in us. So in that case, we have to make sure that our nation, our traditions, our language, our culture, our thought procedures, everything will become successful. Finally, to conclude, because I was given 30 minutes time, so I think I have 1 or 2 minutes. Finally, to conclude, what I can say is India is in a very dangerous situation now because Bharat as a nation has been surrounded. We know spring of pearls by China, and also we have a very odd neighbors who are emerging as religiously dangerous. Either it can be Bangladesh, Sri Lanka in its own way, and Nepal. They have their own systems, though they may reconcile also. Bhutan, we stood for them with in Doklam, but they go and meet China for their own needs. So these are the crises which are having externally. Then we are having some of the most biggest pandemics which are coming to India, which we can't have a control on that due to war situations. India's economy, external supply chain, then robots and artificial intelligence, they are making their presence in our borders as soldiers. That is external factors. Internally, rise of communism, which it is declining, but they are looking very dangerous. And local regional parties who are thinking in for their own sake, poverty, uneven economic development, health issues drag India down, and women treatment, all these things drag India down, and it is time that India come out of this and become more powerful, and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and respect for all its citizens take place. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ji. It's a what an enlightening session was that. And I think, Doctor, please go ahead, like with the questions. Your audio, please. Doctor, your audio is muted.
Namaskar to everybody. Uh, now, sir, now it is clear. Now it is clear. Namaskar,
Yes.
sir. Namaskar to everyone. Uh, our respected speaker has spoken on external factors mostly and internal dynamics also. On external factors, I want to ask him, what are the foreign policy changes the government must take due to the from the day Article 370 was abrogated. Consequently, CAA and the policy towards China, Afghanistan, and Pakistan.
Okay, see, India's policy towards Afghanistan is we are we supported the government there, and we had to earlier government which was there. We built a parliament for them, we built hospitals for them, we built dams for them. But in Afghanistan, after Taliban came to power, so they had a very big check on India's investments there, and till today they don't have recognition on the world, and nearly $9 billion of their money has been slashed in America. So India's point in Afghanistan is we don't talk to we are seeing what is happening there geopolitically, and India is going to take its wait and watch policy on that. Secondly, about China, I already spoke. So due to the due to the China, Ukraine-Russia conflict, China came last time. They wanted let us solve all the issues, but India, we have completed 15 rounds of talks. So from Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim to Uttarakhand till Ladakh, there are a lot of boundary issues which has to be tackled, and it will be done. So India already 15 rounds of talks have happened, and the debates are going on. Last time when Wang Yi came to India, when he issued a statement against India in Pakistan, Indian Prime Minister did not meet him. Just suddenly when he came, we are handling them equally, and we are giving them answer where it needs. So then, about our foreign policy, I think India is very clear. We are independent. We are not left, right. We are middle. Nothing like that. India now is a independent foreign policy. We take foreign policy which is important for India's national interest. My nation, my policy, more interest than anything else. Thank you.
So, any more questions, Doctor?
Sir, on internal factors, what we have seen from 2014 onwards, when this government has come, whatever decision the government takes, there will be an uprising by somebody or the other. Let it be your foreign laws, let it be your CAA, let it be your Article 370, whatever decision government does. Who are these invisible forces who are working against the country. Can we know that?
Yes. Sir, removing Article 370 was the objective of BJP as a political party because BJP started with the motive of removing Article 370. That was very clear. So after the Article 370 was removed, CAA, land reforms, farm laws, there is a completely external factors where they have made their own toolkit for India, where we saw the so-called farmers were having very good air conditioned places to sleep, then food massage, and also they were supported by certain external factors. So that is there, and everybody knows that. But what is very important for a nation like India is political leaders should not have ego. Farm laws or CA farm laws, if certain people in particular state don't accept, but whole nation they had accepted it. Either in Kerala it was working well, or in Karnataka the people liked it, but only one or two states they did not like, and there was a complete conspiracy from certain organizations from Canada, Europe, till America and other countries to and Pakistan to destabilize and make problem for India, but India handled very carefully. See, when we see Canada, India could handle this strike for 1 year. Canada could not handle the lorry truck driver strike even for 15 days. The Prime Minister ran away from his parliament. That is number one. Number two is there will be always factors to destabilize India. But only for us is if we stay as a nation together, we are all successful. The day we break up or the day we are withered, we will become the existence of us will wither away. So Kashmir to Kanyakumari or Shillong till Gujarat coast, everybody, all the thinkings, political parties can come and go, but the Indianness and the Indian policy will always continue. The external factors are the who try to damage India, they will only get destroyed. We can see from Pakistan to Afghanistan till other countries. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Doctor, any more questions? Can I take
Thank you.
over? Or
Yeah, please take over.
can I
Please
ask
take
you a
over. Thank you, sir.
question?
Thank you very much.
Now, if you have any more questions, please let me know. Okay, Ji,
So you go ahead. You go ahead.
so Chandrashekar ji, regarding illegal Bangladeshis, there are too many illegal Bangladeshis has infiltrated and come and occupied many of the places in India. So, is there any way out? Like, is Indian government working on it, or like, what is the solution for it?
So the illegal Bangladesh problem, it was created not today. It is happening since last few decades. So particularly now,
Many decades.
the the Aadhaar card, after that voter ID card, linking your banking account and link your voter ID card with your bank account or your other card. These are all the solutions for that. But there is a systematic effort. Even we are very shocked that in Jammu Kashmir too, we have a lot of illegal Bangladeshis who are settled there in the name of religion. So I was surprised that even in Bangalore we had a lot of illegal Bangladeshi people, which the state government has tackled them. So illegal Bangladesh problem is not only for India, but the Rohingyas from Myanmar. It goes throughout Southeast Asia. But this is the problem which has been inherited, and the government of India they are doing their best to solve this issue. And recently in Northeast, even when we say Hemant Biswas Sharma, the Chief Minister of Assam, we have now some of the most capable chief ministers who can tackle it and who can block them very powerfully. I think very soon this problem will get finished. Thank you.
Thank you. Any idea like how many illegal Bangladeshis in Rajasthan? They mentioned about 2.8 crores or something. but that is an official figure, but unofficially it might be more. So,
No, that
so any
statistics,
idea?
yeah. No, government of India
You
also
don't
don't
have.
have that type of statistics. No, I think 2.8
Okay.
crore in only Rajasthan. I don't think that much.
No, no, entire India.
I and maybe, but
Rajya Sabha, Rajya Sabha, I think they
until
mentioned.
I think that data, I think we have to check it. If the data comes from the Home Ministry, it may be true, but we have to check that one.
Okay, sir. So other thing is like, so after 2+2 meeting last week, I mean last before about 8 days back, India and US, and after that the Democrats Congresswoman, the lady, the Ilan Umar, you might be knowing her. So she visits Pakistan, and when India objected for, I mean like her visit to POK and Pakistan, the US government says that like, oh no, it's a personal visit of her, so we don't need to worry about it. But I mean like, do you buy this argument? I
Sir,
think.
yeah, sir, sir, one very important thing we have to understand is Russia is a authoritarian communist country. The decision is made from the Kremlin. Putin makes one decision, and that goes until St. Petersburg, until Sakhalin, complete area. So one big civil, continent, Russian continent, only one decision of Vladimir Putin. There is no democracy there. His decision to stand with India will always stand. That's one thing. America is a democratic country. If America says to Ukraine, I'll give you arms ammunition, I'll give you $30 billion, I'll give you money, but I'll not send any person so that you fight and you die. But you get independence and you be democratic country. See, this is the two different things between America and Russia. See, 2+2 dialogue. India is a democratic country. America is a democratic country. We have rule of law, they have rule of law. We have political parties, they have political parties. We have freedom of press, they have freedom of press. So every policy what we do in India, it is criticized by opposition. So in America also, whatever they do, it is criticized. But one thing what we have to remember about Ilan Omar is she herself is a refugee. Means her parents are migrated from Somalia and she is staying there, and she is known for to make popularity. She and another lady went to congresswoman. She went to Israel. There also they created this type of problem. But one thing very important is Pakistan ISI is very powerful, and Pakistan ISI tried to penetrate White House and Pentagon to get certain information. So the Pentagon, there are certain ISI lobby who want to raise Kashmir issue, because whenever there is lack of credibility to Pakistan government, they will use the American card of bringing somebody and showing that Kashmir. But America said that she has gone in a private capacity. So when they say she has gone in private capacity, so we have to accept, because individual is not important for India with America, because India and America relation is getting evolved now too much. For example, more than 2 million Indian people are staying in America. All our IT professionals successful there. English is very good successful language. We have Srimati Kamala Harris as Vice President of America. See that bond, and we are having a trade of $100 billion with America. So that bond is getting strong. And most important, America is saying that if India is taking missiles from Russia, THAAD missiles, America, though they said they will object, but they are not objecting it, and they're sending that Sea Globemaster to India, and they're sending Predator drones to India, and they're also sending that Apache Chinook helipads to India, and they're saying that they will stand with India to fight China from Ladakh till South China Sea and Arabian and Bay of Bengal in the Indian Ocean. So we cross Ilan Omar and Pakistan and we have to build relation with democratic country where our national interest should be more important, where we grow, and Bangalore and LA will become IT, BT, KPO, or manufacturing bases, technological transfer, military no transfer, and nuclear technology transfer. These all things, whatever there, that has to be thought. Then this ISI design of religious fanatic people, because Ilan Omar, she doesn't know what is multi-ethnic, multicultural society, because she is completely, she is a trap for that religious uh,
She
fundamentalist
is a supporter
concept.
of Islamic
Yes,
terrorists. She
yes,
is a
yes.
supporter of Islamic terrorists and terrorist organizations.
Sure, 100%. I agree. Thank you.
And other thing is like US soldiers were in Afghanistan for 20 years. And what were they really doing? I mean, initially for 4 or 5 years, they literally took control of Afghanistan. And rest of 15 plus years, they were there in US, Afghanistan, but what were they really doing? Because they hardly did anything after that except bombing some of the civilian or some of the weddings or like misinformation they say it. And also, if you look at some of the connecting dots, Afghanistan has become a hub for the all the drug trafficking
Sir,
in that period of
Afghanistan,
time.
yes, Afghanistan has to be seen not from the point of view of Taliban or the Afghan civilian government. Afghan is very rich in natural resources. Afghan is very rich in rare earth materials. So that was tried to be trapped by Russia. Thought they will get it, but Russia failed there. 1979 to 1980, they failed and they got defeated. Then US went. They thought they will score a point there, but they also failed because the problem was America went to Afghanistan, and the person like Pakistan was the country, ISI was the one who took money from America and killed American soldiers. And it was not only American soldiers who were there in Afghanistan, it was also peacekeeping operation where we have peacekeeping of Netherlands, Germans, English, everybody were there. So America wanted to give us a answer for the World Trade Center defeat. They wanted to punish the Taliban, Al Qaeda, ISIS. So they went there. They could not hold for a long time because they could not sustain their economic things. So the moment they thought that it is a waste of time, energy, and resource, they thought they will get back, and that's what they did. So, Mr. Gopi sir, see, the most important thing of war is resource. See, resource is very important. See, why there was a war in Iraq? Because of oil.
Oil,
Why there was a war in Libya? Oil industry. Why there is a war in
petrodollar.
Russia? Russia war is Russia is supplying to Germany Nord Stream 2 directly gas to Russia, to Germany. That goes directly from Russia to Germany. So America thinks that if Russia and Germany, they have this gas direct link, and Germany is going to pay $15 billion every year. So the Europe, which is dependent on Russia, 40% to 50% on energy, they will start losing their interest towards transatlantic. That is America, Europe relation will get deteriorated. So the energy war started through Ukraine versus Russia. So it is basically energy and control over resources. That is the whole thing. So China and Russia, two important differences. China exports mobile phone, China exports dolls, China exports certain things. Only they export it and they will
Manufactured
leave in.
products.
Yeah, they're a cheap manufacturing factory of the world. So if they don't export, their economy is collapsed. But Russia is not like that. Russia has its own coal reserves, it has its own gas reserves, it has its own oil resources, with that rare earth materials, with that coal, with that potassium, with that fertilizers, everything. So Russia is self-sufficient itself. So the problem for America is this resource-rich country. The who is the two countries for the who can fight for the superpower is Russia versus America, because Russia exports arms, ammunition, THAAD missiles, best military system in the world. China can't do that one. So the equal to US is always Russia. It is not China. That was understood in Pentagon. They just branded, oh, China, China, China. But the real enemy was Russia, and that's why Russia is saying now, to say frankly, the third world war is going on between Russia and the world. This is the truth. This is understood by the Indian policy, foreign policy makers. We have understood it. That's why we are very quiet. Because what is happening is the whole world, from Germany, England, France, Spain, Australia, New Zealand, America, and all East European countries, they are sending men, materials, money to Ukraine, and the Ukraine is fighting Russia. Russia is testing its most sophisticated technology on Ukraine. In Ukraine, certain cities, there is no people. People are not there. Buildings are dead. Buildings are there. Nothing is there. They have become ghost towns. But civilizational clash of Western civilization versus Russian civilization is happening. This is the most alarming and dangerous, because NATO troops are going to Eastern Europe, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, or Georgia, Moldova, every Bulgaria versus Russia. So China is completely dicey, because China may change its tax any day. China can't be believed. Only faithful person who can talk to Russia in the world today is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is how the whole system is going on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the explanation, sir. And continuing the same question, same answer. I mean, like we have been hearing, China is like accumulating and storing a lot of food grains. And is there any food shortage coming in the world, like in the sooner days? And also the fertilizers. Most of the fertilizers India is importing from other countries, so especially Russia. So will India be in trouble in coming days? I mean, when the war is, I mean, escalated too much.
So 3 months back, the Karnataka Price Commission invited me and asked me the same question what you were asking me. Yes, China is going to store food grains, and India has to save. We also have to save and secure food grains to our nation. See, most of the fertilizers for India came from Russia and Ukraine. It can be DPK or NPK or anything. Fertilizers are very important for India, because during the rainy season, farmers need more fertilizers to grow. So if there's a problem in fertilizers, there will be complete political problem in India. We know that one. Second very important thing is Russia used to export wheat, Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine was the bread and butter of Europe. So that bread and butter of Europe has been completely destroyed. So with that, what is important in your question is the supply chain glut is happening. Supply chain glut means the ships which carry bread, butter, or for example, from Ukraine and Russia, 18 lakh tons of palm oil used to come to India. So that has been completely stopped because of this war. And Indonesia, Malaysia were getting palm oil. It is stopped
Malaysia.
because of COVID, and also because there's no logistics. The ships are not moving, and due to COVID, the second re-emergence, completely all the port cities are stopping. So that means, for example, from Kolar or from Karnataka, coffee used to go to Ukraine and Russia. That is stopped because of sanctions. So there will be supply chain gluts because of this war and pandemic, and it is going to affect every nation. And already Indians were paying more money for the oil, not only for petrol and diesel, but also for our palm oil, and also for sugar, and also for medicines. most of the API come from China or Russia,
China.
like that, and also the teeth that some I know there is one particular element that comes only from Russia to the world that has been stopped now. So these are all the things, sanctions which will affect the world in a very big way. Thank you.
Can I
Okay.
ask a
And
question, Gopi?
yes, please.
Uh, Doctor,
Yes, sir.
since you
Yes,
spoke on economics, saying that India needs to be a very strong country in terms of economic activity, my question here is that since India is a net importer of oil, doesn't it make it that much more difficult for us to maneuver external affairs because of the fact that we are a net importer of oil and dependent on oil for most countries,
Sir,
making it that much more difficult for us to maneuver our policies with governments, and also at the same time the external factors playing a big role in Indian politics.
sir, one very important thing which I rake up is since 1947 till today, until before 2014, India completely depended on Russia for military equipment. India completely depend more than 90% for defense equipment, more than 90% for oil for Middle East, and 80% or more for hardware, and for medicines API more than 60 or 70%. This was the India which was inherited from the past governments. I don't blame anybody whether they have done good or bad or anything else. But there is a future for all these things. There is a change for all these things. One is Atmani Bharat, we make our things. Second thing, oil can be substantiated or substituted by battery market, by renewable energy, by solar cells, so which is coming up very powerfully now. So because this industry is getting evolved now, many bikes getting fired, one or two, this is happening because this industry is growing slowly. The moment the electric vehicle boom, battery boom happens in India, the dependence on oil will start diminishing. Number one. Number two is very important for India today is not IT or BT or KPO revolution. India should get now immediately battery manufacturing revolution. This is very important for a country like India. Bangalore should become the capital of battery. How to design a battery? How cost effective lithium battery or the next future sulfur battery? How to make it? How to substantiate? This type of idea should come to youngsters like Mr. Gopi or Dr. Balaji or people like us, so that our dependence on these things will come down. Oil will come down. So more than oil, our dependence in semiconductors, 80% dependence in semiconductors. Hardware, every mobile, those certain companies make, our printers, our refrigerators, or our TVs, the most important technology is everything coming from abroad. So we are dependent so much on the supply chain. In Suez Canal, if a ship moves left and right, in India price rises. See, this is the situation which we have to come out. So for that, we need young talents like in 1980s, like Nayan Murthy, Razim Premji, or Satyam, or somebody, anybody who made certain ideas. That type of revolution should come in battery, electric vehicles, semiconductor manufacturing, then artificial
Hydrogen
intelligence,
fuel.
hydrogen fuels, then robots, because China is sending robots there, drones in the border. So we have to design youngsters. They have to give us a way where there is an alternative for everything. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. And there is other question like, who is more dangerous in the internal security of India? Is it leftist ecosystem or the jihadis or the church groups?
Sir, everybody who is against India is a threat to India. Everybody who thinks my nation is inferior, my nation thought is not good, my nation policies are not good, nothing has been made good. The people, the moment you think like that, you are you are a big threat to the nation. So the leftists now they are withered. They are even in Tripura they are not there. Only in Kerala they are surviving, and very soon they are going to go. So no need to worry about them. And the communists and the Naxalites they are also coming to the mainstream. And the church or something which you are telling, I think they will also reconcile very soon. And jihadists, they have changed their mind perceptions. And India as a nation and the Home Ministry with NIA, we will deal them much better. Thank you.
Okay. And coming to the point of what do you call, there is one more party. I mean, like, do you think leftists are the what do you call the communists are literally gone away, or like they're taking a different form through some of the political party from Punjab and Delhi who are coming in a
Obviously, they will.
camouflage way?
Yes, yes, they will see. They have a strategy. They will whoever whenever they are failing, whenever they're getting withered, they'll try to reconcile with other people, and they will try to destabilize. And they're doing it. And you know which are the two that political party which is contained in Delhi or Punjab. We know everything. And today's event, what happened in Patiala, how they could not know how to govern a border state was very well seen. Thanks.
Yes. And you mentioned rightly saying that FDIs of I mean should be of India's interest, but
Yes.
there is a question like question raises when especially in Jammu and Kashmir when we are inviting UAE and Saudi for the investment, it's a really double-edged sword, isn't it? I mean, as an investment, it's okay, but yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, first of all, the in South Bloc or North Bloc or the foreign policy makers, they should come out of this mindset of Jammu Kashmir connected to Middle East, and minorities in India, they are answerable to some other place. It's not like that. 1.3 billion people who are born here, they're all our secret people, and they're part of India. They are Indians first, then their religion or anything else. Why you want to invite you? See, UAE is coming and investing in Jammu Kashmir. See, it's welcome, but we should have certain mechanism where investment for Jammu Kashmir should come from other sources also. That's why I think now we have many people from even Karnataka. 2-3 people went and invested in schools and also hospital there. These things are going to happen. And just now only, see, somebody was telling in Parliament, like Mr. Modi sir, your government came 7 years back. Within 1 year, a woman grows her womb, and the child will become by 7th standard. 7 years he'll go to school. But the Indian political system is not like that. It has its own limitation. It has its own shortfall. So that mindset has to be changed. See, the Pakistan ISI, they did counterintelligence with American CIA to destabilize Russia. They even ISI worked with Mossad to give information on Iran. That was also true. So they were experts, and our law was also more expert in countermanding all the type of things. But the reality is, even a successful country like America could not control World Trade Center blast. India also we had Mumbai blast. So we have limitations, but with that limitations, if somebody want to come and invest, government of India should tell UAE or somebody, instead of Jammu Kashmir, do there also, go to Bihar, invest there also. That type of concept should come up. See, we need people. See, Bihar, Pataliputra, Nalanda University, that is the ancient university. Today, your organization represents that. So, see, Uttar Pradesh, it represents something. In the same way, Mount Kailas, what is Mount Kailas? That is my God stays there. Where is Mount Kailas now? Why Mount Kailas has been taken off? Why India did not take over Mount Kailas? See, 1947 to 19, where certain compromises were done. Why, my God, my sacred place is in somewhere. Why I have to take permission from China to go to mine Kailash? Why can't take that land by force or by compromise or something? That is the question. Youngsters, you should get, and we should think, and we should make a solution. Thank you.
And the one more compromise I think we have done is that we lost our the roots of our civilization, the Harappan Mohenjo-daro. I mean, we are talking about Egypt and pharaohs and all those things, but our roots, like ancient Dwaraka, could be, but it could be related to Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. But we lost it completely. Today, it's in the Islamic State, which is like they're plundering it. So they don't have any respect for our artifacts and our civilization roots, and I don't know what to do. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, 1940, when China as a state was established, Mao told one thing: first, go and occupy Tibet. Why Tibet they occupied? Tibet was the bread and butter to China, because all the major rivers originate in Tibet. So if you control Tibet, you control the water. You control Mekong River, which flows from Yangtze, which they call, and it goes to Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, everywhere. So you control the river, you can control the bowl, the food. So China's design was, let us control Tibet. But what did India do? He said, Aksai Chin, not even a grass is grown there. Why should I need that? Harappa Mohenjo-daro, 1947. India has to redefine. India has to redefine. Sir, how many people in India wanted the partition that time? Was there a referendum for it? How can colonial
1946.
country, 46, how can colonial country divide a nation and go? See, these are the things which has to be reinvented and re-seen in the history textbooks. Please, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think we have enough of questions. And before the program started, we just discussed about the coal. What do you call coal storage is getting over or something. Coal is getting empty. So
Shortages.
what is the Indian chance? Sorry, shortages. So what are
Sir,
the Indian chances after that?
the coal shortage in India is the greatest result of climate change, where, uh, where in Bangalore we were never experienced this type of hot summer, which we are getting hot summer now. High jump in consumption rate, and many states have not made payments to electricity generating companies, and due to supply chain problem, coal has to be imported. But now our Prahlad Joshi, yes, categorically said that we have sufficient coal, but whatever coal we are having, we are getting the report is due to pandemic and pickup of industrial activity in India, and due to increase in summer, there is a very huge demand of coal, and from Indonesia due to COVID and labor shortage, and Russia, which is the third highest manufacturer of coal, it is not coming. So another 9 days to 10 days we are having the reserves, and I don't know, the government will make certain measures for that, but we may face electric. It can be a problem, but I think something will be done to manage it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. There is one comment to make. I think
Sir,
we mentioned about.
one last question. Sir, one last question, sir. Gopinath, sir.
Okay, okay, please.
Sir, this is to our respected speaker, Dr. Chandrashekar ji. You are talking on one vote, one tax, and one common laws for all things. Maybe it is like a uniform civil code for all things. And
Yes, sir.
for this uniform civil code to come, should we not abrogate Article 29 and Article 30, which is a hindrance for uniform civil code? Is the internal factors on that I am asking. asking, sir.
Sir, first of all, I wrote a letter to requested to government. See, when we did demonetization or when we did farm laws, see, India is a very huge country and India is a laboratory of country. India is a laboratory of country in the world. See, if you want to make one uniform civil code, we requested that you want to make any law on in India, first test in one or two states. That's why now they want to test uniform civil law. Either they want to install it in Himachal Pradesh or in Uttarakhand, small states and northeast states, and they want to see how it works. If it functions very well, if it is very successful, then they want to take it to throughout India. That is number one. And whatever laws has to be changed for the national interest of our country, I think that will be done. It will not be a hindrance, but that will be a positive factor. Thank you.
So, who was involved in
Thank you.
Kudankulam violence and riots from behind?
Sir, who was?
Kudankulam riots involved. I
Yeah.
mean, is that external forces? Like, is that Chinese funding or like US CIA?
So, see, everybody knows that one. The so-called foreign funding to damage the Russia-India relationship that time. So now we know everything. Everybody knows about that. It is within
Okay.
court, whatever
But
said,
you don't want to name it right now.
external agency from US or some foreign organizations and also certain religious organizations, they were involved with the funding. It was all exposed.
Okay. Sir.
Okay, Gopi.
Thank you, sir. And Nikunj, any more questions?
No, I'm okay. I think it's quite late already.
Okay. Yeah. Sir. The one comment that when you made like India, I mean, like with 1.3 billion people who doesn't have any representation, United Nations, UNSC, and in fact, India has gifted to CCP. I mean, China, when US has offered the India the UNSC permanent seat. I think it happened twice, I believe. One in 1954 and one in other one in after 1970s or something when CCP got it. Sorry, yes, it's Communist Party of China got it rather.
No, China. See, I think India was never thought and it was not considered. But 1948, when it was thought and considered, our leaders they did not accept it. 1980s, I think it's completely it is dicey. We don't have more information on that. But India and due to our former prime minister's over enthusiasm and over interest, we lost it. And you know who is he, Mr. Jawaharlal
All right.
Nehru, Prime Minister.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Gopi, you can close it.
Yes, I think thank you. And on behalf of VHS Karnataka, I thank Shri T.S. Chandrashekar for accepting our request and enlightening all of us on Bharat external factors and internal dynamics on this Samvada. Thank you, Shri Chandrashekar a lot. And in fact, Dr. Chandrashekar. So, and thank you, Shri Nikunj thank you, Tejas ji, and thank you, Dr. Tilak. Thank you, our technical team, Ishwaraya and Gadagi Rakesh. Last but not least, thank you all the wonderful viewers for making this Samvada success. Please stay safe and please do visit and register at vhsindia.org for further amazing online sessions of VHS Karna Samvada. Thank you and Jai Shri Ram.